Hey y'all, it's me. Stop, drop, and roll on. And I have been trying to put this video up for a couple of days now. Um, I'm just gonna get right to it. I have always been I don't know what you could call it, individual thinker. It has helped me in a lot of areas as far as being able to be objective about things. Um, and when I say individual thinker, I'm just talking about straight across the board. Um, Dressing, my mom will tell you, hey, I've been chubby all my life. Chubby, fat, fluffy. You just come up with a word, but the real word is fat. Um, and but I just made it my business that I didn't want to look like everybody else that was fat. I mean, you go somewhere and then everybody got on the same dress because we done all been to the same place. And so I've told y'all before, it was really important to me not to look like everybody else because that was just the way I am wired. I'm still like that. And so I'm, sitting up here thinking like, okay, um, this is a good thing. I mean, at first, I guess when I was younger, it was made it some difficulties for myself. It probably made some difficulties for my parents too because they probably thought I was being ticky when I really wasn't being ticky. But my mother is also like this too. Although she don't think she is, she is. And so we kind of like go off the beaten path on some areas, which is kind of weird and good. But I said all that to say because even biblical, we are called to, the word says that the path that leads to destruction is a wide path, and there is going to be a lot of people on that path thinking that, they thinking right, they doing right, they this, that, there, and the other. And of course, how could I be wrong? I got all these people around me. And then it says, and narrow is the path, the path that leads to eternal life. And the bottom line is, the word says it's few that find it. It's a narrow path, and it's a few people that find it. And so it is applicable even in, spiritual thinking that it's all right to be individual, you know. And so I'm sitting up there and I said all that because when this book called Heaven is for Real first came out, I remember going in Barnes and Nobles and looking at that book, and I knew the premise behind the book because I had read an article um, in it wasn't a magazine. It was actually, I think it was a newspaper about just like an excerpt, and I was just like, this sounds really really interesting, but it was so much hype behind it, and you know how the media can hype something up, especially I mean, when they hyping up something that has the word heaven in it, you really need to take a look, and then you need to proceed with caution as well because sometimes things ain't what they seem. And so I'm sitting up there and I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let the hype die down off this. Just like I want to go see this movie called Noah, but then I just had a girlfriend of mine text me and tell me she went to see it yesterday, opening night, and she didn't like it. And I had read some of the reviews, which to me, reviews on movies and stuff like that, I usually take them with a grain of salt unless it's like 20,000 of them and everybody's saying it's pitiful. I mean, you're going to be the lone wolf, which is possible to be the lone wolf and say, oh, I really liked it. But usually, you still got that thing in your head that just goes like, ooh, that don't sound too hot. I'll wait. And now that we have the option of waiting on stuff to come out DVD and all that, you can wait. So anyway, she texted me. I mean, it ain't been an hour because we had been discussing about whether or not we were gonna, go and see that. And she went. I meant to go yesterday, but mm, but anyway, she said it was terrible. So um, I don't know. And I'll probably go and see it anyway just so I can say I think it's terrible too, and we'll probably discuss the movie because I do stuff like that. But anyway, back to what I was saying about the book, heaven is for real. So now that I'm seeing the movie trailer for the movie, which is going to be coming out at some point soon, probably the way the trailer's playing, um, I'm my interest is peaked again, this time for real, but because it made it past the initial hype and now we into another level. But the other day, Friday to be exact, although this started on Thursday actually started before then because I already said a couple months ago that I needed to work on making a determination whether or not I'm going to do corporate exercising or solitary exercising. And then the real deal is that I'm going to end up doing a mixture of the two because the exercise that I want to do is not something that you really need to do every day because you have to incorporate strength training with anything you're doing, especially at my age. I mean, it's necessary. You just got to do it because of the stuff that's going on. But Thursday, I went. I had been looking for this class, and then I got to roll back because I joined. Y'all remember the last all the stuff that went on with the general, right? Okay. If you don't remember the general or who he is, or you new to my channel, I used to have a personal trainer. His name was Roy. I called him the general. I would go and see the general at 5:30 to 5:45 in the morning, and work out with him for an hour. He would whoop me. In other words, I mean, just, and that was that. I enjoyed him, but the cost were was more than I really wanted to pay. And the other part about it was not apart from the cost, because what cost is health, but to be healthy, I should say. But the real issue was that um, I got to the point where I kind of wasn't enjoying it the way that I should have been. And I'm not saying I'm supposed to be standing out there, that's exercise. No, he was doing his job, and I ain't even got a problem with that. It was just that it was turning into a lot of stress, and that was because my job was interfering, even at that time in the morning, with me being able to be consistent as I wanted to be with it. And it's to me, when I'm working out, I need to have my mind clear and free to be concentrating on what I'm doing. I'm working out, so my mind needs to be on what I'm doing, not already out here because I got this other thing looming. You stand up here working out with a pager on you and all that stuff. Who needs that? So it was really, it did not start out that way. Um, Stressful. I just heard something that didn't sound right. Okay. Anyway, so that was the way it went. And so after I got through with that, then it turned into working out on my own, which I think that I was doing pretty good with that, okay? But then I just lost my mojo. A lot of stuff started happening, and what I am having to learn is stuff, and I know it. I'm just having to apply the fact that things are going to happen. This is life, and you will have to learn how to not let one thing totally impact you to the point where it's throwing me off my game, because that's what I would do. Like I couldn't, acting like I couldn't, like overcome whatever the issue was. So there's that excuse, and I really believe that that's what it is. It's an excuse because people have other bigger things going on and they still manage to get their workout in. So at that point, for me, it's an excuse. And so I joined a gym, and I made it to the gym one time. When I joined the gym, Pierre was standing up there and he was just like this. And when he does that, don't say nothing. It's just like conviction, to the 29th power. And I'm just like, oh, I'm going to go. I'm going to prove you wrong. Not prove myself wrong. But, what it was I went one time. Well, the reason why I joined the gym to begin with anyway was because these people said that they were going to have this class that I wanted to take, that I was really interested in taking. And so I'm looking for them to start the class up at any time. Well, I noticed you got this coffee drink, and I mean he was selling the coffee bar, as because it's this coffee drink, Gano XL, that I was drinking at the time, that really I could only buy online and all that. And I was like, well, I could just go up here, and work out and get my Gano on and be, everything great. Honey, please. I'm sitting up here waiting on the people to bring the exercise class, and I started seeing boot camp at a time where I could not attend. And I'm telling them I really prefer to do a workout um, at this certain time. So when you had the classes, I needed to be around about this time where my home doesn't suffer. I'm able to get to work. I don't have to be thinking about anything else when I'm working out. Oh, yes, ma'am, we're going to be able to this, that, there, and other. Tanning bar came. Yeah, tanning bar. I don't even know what that is. But I know I don't need a tan. I do know that. And I'm sitting up here thinking I'm on automatic drive. I'm sitting up here paying for somebody else going here and get brown. I'm already brown. That ain't my problem. And I don't mean no harm when I'm saying that. I'm being, obviously stating the obvious and being truthful at the same time. So I changed my card. That was the only way that I could get out of that. And it took them about 2 months, and then they realized, well, we ain't been able to charge this clown's card. So the guy called a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, we haven't been able to charge. I said, yes, a reason for that. I haven't been able to come. I told you what my needs were. You told me that you were going to be able to that things would work, and also that you were going to be having some classes that you have yet to materialize, but other things are, and I don't have any control over your business plan, or how you see yourself in 5 years from now, but I know how I see myself from 5 years from now and how I am right now, and this is not fitting in. I don't need a tan, and I don't need to be subsidizing it either. So bloop boop. Because he did go on to ask me if I had another card and what was the number. And I was like, I do have another card. But the number is my number and it's not your number. And therefore, I won't be sharing it. Boop. There's the end of that. But I had still in the back of my mind, behind the bun, I had a thought that I would be getting back into corporate exercise. So Saturday, the previous Saturday, last Saturday, Pierre and I were driving around and I was like, I ain't seen that. That must be new. And so it was a sign. And I was like, I'm coming back. I am coming back next week. Just hear me. And so, because it was the classes that I was thinking that the person that was close to me was going to be having that they never had, but then they got the tanning bar, whatever that is. And so I went Thursday dressed with sandals on because it was warm here. And I was standing up there with my purse on my arm, and the ladies was like, the lady, after I bought my pass and everything, she was like, well, give it a try, give it a try. And I'm like, but I don't have on attire. And she was like, just try it, just try it. I did 15, 20 minutes. I knocked my bun loose. I came out, y'all. I looked like I had been back in a alley with some thugs, and they decided they was gonna wipe the concrete with me and my bun. Had the bun was hanging down. I'm not playing. I am not playing. God knows I'm not lying. And I drove home like that. I sure did. Looked like I had a piece of rope hanging off the back of my head. Y'all know how that Marley hair is. And so I came home, and Pierre was standing in the kitchen, and he's like, and I just told him, don't ask. And I won't tell. I'm just saying that I did a little bit of the. So I think that I'm going to read the book, Heaven is for Real. I think that when the movie comes out, I will be going to see it just because I want to do comparison. And heaven is for real, for real. Y'all believe that. You can't get there unless you accept Jesus Christ as your Savior. However, there is something else that is for real, and I ain't belittling heaven at all. Zumba is for real. I'll be telling y'all about my Zumba class, okay? I'm going to keep y'all up to date on it. But that's what I'm talking about. I am doing Zumba.